Today we're starting a new series called the Men's Fragrance Essentials, where viewers who want to learn about the cornerstones of the community, the big names in fragrances, can learn about the entire lines, what these fragrances are designed for, which flanker is best to choose from, how they perform and what kind of vibe they will give you. Hopefully it'll help you guys buy appropriately for your own personality and style. Today we are discussing the Paco Rabanne 1 Million line. If you have been in a nightclub since 2008, you have smelled this. I'm going to discuss the original versus 1 Million Lucky versus 1 Million Privé, which is unfortunately discontinued, and 1 Million Parfum and 1 Million Elixir. Although I don't own Elixir, it is a sample that I've tried. You need to know, guys, that the 1 Million line is an F-boy line. It's a good place to start if you want to get laid. Paco Rabanne in general is a brand that is youthful, synthetic, loud, mass appealing, very easy to light fragrances, hence their usual popularity that they get with their products. 1 Million, the original, was released I think in 2008. Let's discuss this because this is a powerhouse. It's made a huge name for the brand and for this line in general. It is a success for very obvious reasons. When you smell it, first of all, you'll recognize it. You'll know it has a lot of character. It's loud still, even though it's been reformulated. But this stuff, yeah, used to fill up the room. So it used to be a little bit obnoxious when people used to use it. It's still a strong performer. The fragrance DNA here is going to be amber, woods, leather, as well as fruity notes. It's got a strong mandarin note in here, I believe. It is just a very gorgeous combination of sweetness with masculinity. It just makes any man, I think, feel sexy. And I think even though it's a little bit outdated, I still think you can do well with this fragrance. You'll still get compliments. It is definitely a staple everyone needs to try. And if you enjoy it, buy it. It is still highly priced for a reason, because this does not struggle to sell at all. I think it's gonna carry on doing so for the brand. This is the kind of style I'd recommend for guys who want to rock this fragrance. Something very casual, fun, flirtatious with a bit of darkness in there. It's a bit tricky to wear this in the summertime. All other 3 seasons, you can still wear it on a date or clubbing, in my opinion. Then we have 1 Million Lucky. In my opinion, this is a masterpiece and probably my favorite from the line. And when I've asked girls in the past about the different fragrances in this line, usually Lucky comes out on top. It has a lot of character as well. And bear in mind, guys, these flankers for 1 Million, most of them do not smell similar to the original. So they're very different. And it's a bit intriguing as to why they're actually in the same line. It's a bit confusing, actually. 1 Million Lucky is very different to the original. It's a gourmand fragrance. If you don't know what that means, it means it's a fragrance that smells like it's edible. It has edible notes like hazelnut, honey, I think maybe plum is in here as well. This, overall, if I had to describe it, smells like a bright and fresh, yet also sweet, edible caramel popcorn is how I would describe it as. It's something you need to experience. It's creative perfumery, especially for a designer fragrance. It's a bit softer to the skin. It's not as obnoxious. You can wear this definitely in the summertime, in my opinion, as long as you don't go too heavy. I think this is a sexy daytime fragrance that's really unique, will get you compliments, and it can give you a lot of character, memorability. You'll be memorable to her when you wear this. I get about 6 hours with this, and this is the kind of style I recommend. So again, we're going brighter colors here with the clothing, and you need to have this kind of personality that's really attractive and really outgoing, confident. You need to be confident when you rock something like this. Then we have, sadly, this discontinued gem, 1 Million Privé. Again, very different from the original. Instead of going for that weird F-boy synthetic vibe of the original, it's going actually a lot more elegant here. This is a lot more mature now, 1 Million Privé. It's not as easy and mass appealing as the original, but it's still very smooth and still overall, I would say, easy to like. It's a fragrance that's based around tobacco and sweet notes. What makes this fragrance truly unique and truly impressive for a designer fragrance, especially for Paco Rabanne, who usually, play it quite mainstream and generic, is the fact that they've used a note of myrrh in this fragrance. I'm not sure if it's real myrrh. Myrrh is one of the notes one of the gifts that was brought to Jesus, as we all know in the nativity tale. It's extremely expensive, one of the most expensive. It's probably not real myrrh, but the note that they've replicated that with gives us a really bright, unique elegance to the sweetness that it brings here. This is definitely a more mature, refined, softer fragrance. It lasts still 12 hours, but it's just a very smooth tobacco fragrance. If you like fragrances like Dolce & Gabbana, the one EDP, you'll really like this, or even fragrances like Zara's Rich, Warm, Addictive. You'll love this fragrance. Don't go too crazy with the price. I don't think it's worth paying over £100 for. Maybe, yeah, just under £100, I think is fine. So if you do want to spend a bit more money, I think it's worth it. It's a good fragrance, mainly cold weather, and here is the style I recommend you use with it. It's going to be darker colors here, a bit more mature, refined. You know, dress sharp when wearing this fragrance, in my opinion. It is impressive for a designer brand. Don't underestimate its elegance. Those are the three main flankers out of the way. Then I'll talk briefly about 1 Million Parfum and Elixir, which in my opinion, these two most recent flankers are the weakest in the line. Here we have 1 Million Parfum that I've acquired recently just for this video, and it's essentially a white floral bubblegum take on the original DNA. I've bought it now brand new for this video. I don't really like it, but it's not a terrible fragrance. I think this fragrance, 1 Million Parfum, should have been more suited to be in the Invictus lineup. It's questionable why most of the flankers are in the 1 Million line anyways in general, but this does smell a lot more close to Invictus. It has bubblegum, sweetness with white florals in here. It has a brightness to it as well. So it's a sort of like a bright, sexy date fragrance that is more middle of the road. I don't think it's a masterpiece at all. I'd give this maybe like a 7 out of 10. If you want to smell unique, if you want an interesting white floral DNA in your scent, you can try this. It's not bad. It's got a good performance. I get maybe 8 hours with a moderate projection. I think this is a kind of fragrance that could compete as a summer date fragrance in the daytime, but then it'll be competing against something like 1 Million Lucky, which I definitely recommend. So overall, I think most people will agree this isn't the best from the line. Try it anyways, see what you think. And this is the kind of style I recommend for it. So maybe something that's in between the brightness and darkness of 1 Million Lucky and 1 Million Privé here with this style. And then finally we have 1 Million Elixir, which I've tried through a sample. With a name like that, there's going to be a lot of hype when you're being added to a legendary line. And what it smells like is, it smells like a lot of modern perfumery, that tonka bean and vanilla combination with probably cardamom, probably a bit of freshness, probably some bergamot up top. Overall, disappointing, lacking, generic. In my opinion, I feel like this DNA has already been done and done better with Stronger With You line. I'm not saying they're exact clones, but the vibe is similar. If you like this kind of fragrance, I think if you haven't smelled the Stronger With You line, not that familiar with it, I think most people will find this easy to like, appealing. But I would recommend to you guys either go for the original Stronger With You or Stronger With You Intensely. The performance in here is good. It's very good, actually, in fairness. You've got over 8 to 10 hours longevity with a loud projection. So it is an attention grabber. It'll get the job done, but I think it's just disappointing for this line. And I don't think it's adding anything interesting to perfumery or even to the designer market. If I had to recommend a style, I'd go for something like this, which is a bit more loud, flamboyant, let's say peacocking in a way. It's grabbing your attention. You know, and you still want to dress sexy when wearing a fragrance like this. What are your thoughts on the 1 Million line? If you had to choose your favorite from here, what would you pick? Do you agree or disagree with what I've said? Do you think I've done justice to the line? Have I explained the foundations to people who are new to the hobby? And tell me, guys, what other lines or foundational scents would you like to see me explain next? Do you like this series? Should we carry on with it or try something else? Thank you for watching, guys. Make sure to check out our other video where I compare the entire Chanel Allure line, and we'll see you in the next one.